Hi there, my name is Art, and I teach people to publish magazines and newspapers. This is one of my newspapers. Here's one of my tabloids. Here's another newspaper, the church paper. Here's a discount clipper. Here's a vocal local. I've been publishing and printing newspapers for the last 7 years. Here's the lifestyles. Here's a paper from one of my recent students. And here's another paper from one of my recent students. These papers, for the majority, they're all color. And they're all advertising. So that everything in the paper you make money on. Everything in the paper I get paid to put in the paper. And I make a lot of money. And some of my publishers have already become wealthy. This is my sample paper, which I supply to the publishers, which makes selling the advertising extremely easy. I'm going to go over this in a couple of minutes. But anyhow, basically, I could put you into a business very similar to this. Some of you have this in your area, the Clipper magazine. And basically it's an advertising vehicle, and that's what we're doing over here. We're teaching you to do an advertising vehicle sent out with the mail, with the post office. Not much different from the Valpak. Not much different, but a lot more sophisticated than the coffee news. And again, not much different from the Red Plum. Except the Red Plum usually concentrates on national advertisers, and I concentrate on local advertisers. Most of these other vehicles that I just mentioned, they were in the area when I started my publication, but I basically chased them out of town because nobody can compete with my media product. Now, what I do is it's called targeted advertising. Here's 10,000 papers, 8,000 in the trunk of my car, 2,000 in the back seat. Here's what it looks like when I bring the papers into the post office once a month. I push them in on the dollies. And selling advertising, that's the easy part. Because I sell advertising for $100 for an eighth of it. This is a flyer that I would send to the contractors on the skilled trades on the Craigslist. And so the idea is for $100, I give a person an eighth of a page color ad, and I mail the paper. See, there's the ad right there. That's what it looks like. And I mail the paper to 10,000 homes. So when you break it down, the advertiser, it's costing him a penny a house to get into his target area. Because the way it works is, I'll mail the 10,000 papers to, let's say, a particular zip code. And then I'll visit the 1,000 businesses in that same zip code. And every business in that zip code, they all want to reach the households that are surrounding their business, which means the same zip code. So we're targeting their message to their best potential customers. Now you'll take a look at my sample paper. This is the best paper I ever made. This paper was made up with one purpose in mind, to sell advertising. It has my best advertorials on it. It looks like a newspaper that you'll see in the store and you'll pay money for, so it's got added value. It's loaded with sales pitches. There are sales pitches at the bottom of this ad. There are sales pitches all over here at the bottom. In other words, when you're turning the pages for a customer, a lot of times he doesn't realize there's sales pitches. There's sales pitches all around the outside of the page. There are sales pitches at the top of the page, at the side of the page. So you don't have to remember what to say. Along with the sales pitches is just some regular, here's right in the middle. Every page has sales on it, telling the advertiser for every $1 you invest in direct mail, you get back $50. But the sales pitches go on, and they're on every page. Here's a big sales pitch right over here, the bottom of this one here. And it's got all my best ads in the paper. And it's got so many industries, all the most popular businesses, the ones that advertise the most, the real estate people, the insurance brokers, the restaurants, the jewelry stores, the contractors, the auto places, the HVAC, the gift shops. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And when they read one of these advertorials, they will be blown away, because none of the papers that I just showed you even do advertorials. And while I chased everyone out of town, I wasn't even doing advertorials myself. But what happens is advertorials are 10 times more effective than regular ad copy. So when you put an ad into the paper, and you put an ad in for a guy like Golden Corral, and you mail 10,000 papers, yeah, he's going to get 5,000 coupons back. But when you put Tony's Pizza, who just opened up, and the people are not familiar with him, and they have no confidence in him, they have no trust in him, even though he's got a coupon, buy one, get one free, they're still afraid of Tony. But when Tony puts an advertorial in, it tells them why they should trust Tony. Because Tony's a third-generation Italian chef. His father has a chain of restaurants in Italy. He gets up at 3 in the morning and he's the first one at the produce market. It's him and his mother doing all the cooking. He gives a money-back guarantee. I mean, it goes on and on why this guy should be trusted. If you want to see what these advertorials are like, if you're watching this on YouTube, click anywhere on the picture and it'll take you to the website, and you'll be able to read the advertorials, because I can't stand long enough here for you to read them. But if you read any of these advertorials, you'll be totally blown away. So nobody, no matter what kind of media is in your area, can compete with you. And you want a lot of different papers and magazines in your area, because that's where I got all my customers from. I would visit the ones that are advertising in all the other medias. They're your most likely customers. And they're the ones, so if you have a lot of papers in your area, that's a good thing. The other thing, the other reason why advertorials are so great, and you know, some people, they build a business just making advertorials. I mean, there are guys that specialize in doing advertorials for different businesses. You know, the restaurant trade and the medical trade. So there's a lot of different businesses. And you got a medical advertorial in here, and you got a restaurant advertorial in here. You got everything in my sample paper. Now, over the last 6 years, most of my students, and I've trained over 500 already, but every one of them, up until the last month, they all got samples of my papers with North and South Carolina businesses in it. It wasn't as easy as it is now, where the sailing is done for you and it's done in a generic paper. This paper is HomeTown. Everybody's in HomeTown Mall. Everybody's on HomeTown Boulevard. This paper is suitable for any city in the world. Everybody, when they hear hometown, they feel it's their hometown. So this paper is generic, and it's made up for one purpose, to help you sell advertising, and that's what it does. Now, you can get into this business without any expenses, because you work from home, without any franchise fees, because there are none. You could get into this business without any startup costs. Because when you go around to the customers, the advertisers, and you show them your sample paper and you tell them that you bought a franchise, you're going to sell them an ad and you're going to collect a 50% deposit. The 50% deposit is going to cover your mailing and printing costs. By the time you sell your paper, you're going to generate $10,000 worth of income, and it costs less than $3,000 to mail and print all the papers. So you take a 50% deposit, you took in $5,000, you spend $3,000 to print and mail, you made money just from your deposits. Then after you print and mail, you go back with your postal receipts to the store and the paper, and he sees you did what you're supposed to, and he pays you the balance. Now, this business worked so great for me, I only had to work the first 3 months. After that, all I did was go around and collect the checks. Everybody signed on, and that was the end of it. Now, the thing with this is, I teach you the business on Skype. It's a 12-hour course, one-on-one. I give you my personal services. The program that I'm selling is $1,995, but it's all inclusive. It includes the software, the same software I use on all my papers. It includes the sample papers. It includes my 12-hour tutelage. It includes my 25-page manual, which is just like a reference guide for everything that we're going to cover, you know. I mean, everything I teach you, but then after I'm done teaching you, you could still read it again to make sure you understand, you know. And, you know, this is no different than any other college course. You go to college and you take the class for an hour. After the class is over for an hour, the teacher gives you 3 hours of homework. You got to read four chapters. You got to do an essay. This is the same thing. After you're done with me, you got to practice what I taught you. You know, and I can't go visiting the customers for you. You're going to have to visit the customers, show them the sample, tell them that you could give them a 1/8 of a page all-color ad for $100, and you can deliver it to 10,000 homes all surrounding the business, which breaks down to a penny a house. You tell them it costs $650 from Vistaprint to print 10,000 business cards. But you can get these 3 times the size of a business card size ads into the mailboxes of their neighbors for a penny a house. You don't have to be a salesman. All you got to do is turn pages, because the sales pitches are on every page. Now, I help you every step of the way. Even when you get started and the customers say, yeah, sounds great, make me up an ad, I help you. You know, you'll do the ad, you'll take a picture or two, usually you have to, of the customer and what he wants in the ad, but then you'll make the ad. But then you'll send it to me before you send it to him, and I'll tweak it for you. I'll make sure that it's perfect. And when you go to the business, you're going to look extremely credible. You're going to look solid. You're going to have the beautiful sample papers. You're going to have the knowledge and the skills, and you're going to have a presentation book. It's going to have the maps of where you're going to be mailing the paper. It's going to have show the zones. When he sees these things, he's going to know that you're going to be able to do what you're promising. So you're going to look credible. You're going to sign up customers. And there's no limit on how much you could earn in this business, because I have some publishers that are doing 4 and 5 different newspapers and magazines in their own community. What we're doing here and what I've been doing is like a coupon type magazine, but I've taught people to do auto traders, homes and land, restaurant guides, mugshot papers. The guys with the mugshot papers, they get paid money to distribute the paper. They'll drop 100 papers off. They're pre-priced $1.50 at the top of the paper. They'll drop 100 off to a little grocery store. Come back at the end of the month, the papers are all gone. The storekeeper has to give them $100, $1 each paper, and they keep 50 cents on each one they sold. Meanwhile, it costs you 12 cents to print those papers, so it costs you $12 for the 100, and you're picking up $100. So you're getting paid to distribute the papers. So there's a lot of money to be made in this business. And a lot of different ways to make it. Once I had the customers in my paper, I would also sell them signs and banners and table tents for the restaurants and all kind of different advertising products, even t-shirts. So I would sell them more stuff because it all revolves around design. Now, I mentioned that my program is $1,995, but you know, if you go ahead and Google it, graphic arts course for you to take an online graphic arts course, which is what you're going to be when I'm done with you, or basically a graphic artist, those courses alone are $5,000. And you don't have a business when it's done. Not that you're going to do that, but I'm only saying. And also, when you buy one of these franchise magazines, like, the Valpak is a $75,000 franchise, they give you a territory. All these franchises, they give you a territory. You got to pay royalties. And there's no guarantee of success. You're still in the same boat. You got to go out and sell advertising, but nobody makes it as easy as I make it. Why? Because I don't care. I started my whole papers when I was retired. I don't need your money, and I don't take every student. If you talk in broken English, don't call me up. I don't feel like struggling, you know what I mean? I started as a church paper. That's why I showed you the church paper. So the idea is this is a legitimate business opportunity. And you know something else? If you go to my website, you can start for free. And you can see if you're capable to do this business. There's a category on the website and it says start for free. And I suggest that's what you do. Because if you don't have the abilities to do this business, you're never going to get anywhere and you're wasting my time. I like to teach people that are going to become successful. It's not a hard business because I was successful in North Carolina. I was right at the border. And I'm a New Yorker. I'm back in New York now. And half the businesses that I went into while I was in the Carolinas, they wouldn't even talk to me. They hated me. They don't like the Northerners. They don't like the Yankees. So half the businesses wouldn't even talk to me. And even with that situation, I still was successful. And I was in a rural area. There's a category on the website that'll bring you over to my old website, you'll see I was selling 5 different towns on both sides of the border, 5 different zip codes. It was the worst business plan I could ever imagine. I mean, I didn't realize when I first started how bad it was because I wasn't working with other people, But now I work with some people and I see 500 so far. And I see that, man, the way I had it over there was just terrible. But it didn't faze me, It was no problem to me. But anyhow, the idea is that anybody can succeed in this business in any city of the world. And I'm working today with people in England, Canada, Scotland, Ireland. As long as they're talking English, I'm working with them, and I'm working with them on Skype. And the mechanics is not a problem. Everyone learns the mechanics. Everyone learns to do the artwork. Everyone learns to do the mailing. Everyone learns to lay out the paper. Because I'm looking over your shoulder, and we make sure everything is going to be good. So the idea is none of that is hard. The only thing you got to do is visit the business. You got to walk in and you got your one paragraph. Hi, listen, I just bought a franchise. I'm going to be mailing this to everyone in the zip code. This zip code, your zip code. And I'm going to have 1/8 of a page color ads for $100. And I'm going to be mailing it to 10,000 homes. That's a penny a house. Do you think you'd have interest? Yeah, they're all going to have interest. On average, most of the businesses you walk into, it costs them $3, $4, $5, sometimes $2,000 a day just to open that door. Sometimes all they got is 20 feet of frontage on a street. So the businesses you're going to be visiting, they are spending money just to open their door. It costs $100 just to get your garbage picked up every month because, you got to have commercial garbage. The city don't pick up businesses' garbage. It don't work that way. So you're going to be selling advertising to business people that already have a lot invested. And you want to try and go to the ones that are already advertising because they're the best customers. They're the ones that are going to appreciate you the most. They're the ones that are going to jump on board the fastest because they know the value of advertising and they see you're going to be able to do so much more than anyone else. So now when it comes to the training, I'm basically available 24/7 because I'm retired. So I work around my students' schedules. If you need to be trained in the morning, no problem. The afternoon, no problem. The evening, no problem. It's all no problem. I do work by appointment only, but I'll work according to your schedule. And also, my time is limited, so I can sometimes turn students away when, I get too many students at one time, which has happened on occasion, but doesn't happen that often. But like I say, if you've been looking for a business that you can succeed at, that you don't have to gamble with your life savings, that doesn't require any big investments and doesn't require any startup costs, this is it. Everything is included. You learn how to do the business, your samples are included, your software is included, and the best thing is your customers are in place. They're there now. They're waiting for you right now. Talk to them. Tell them what you're going to do. Tell them what you're planning. They're going to tell you, even when you got no sample paper, just make sure you know what you're saying. They're going to say, yeah, that sounds good. Come in when you get started. Anyhow, I can't guarantee your success because some of you people will never go out to sell anything. Sometimes people sign on with me because they want to do the business, but they're working a 50-hour week. And they never really get time to go out and accomplish what they need to accomplish. And sometimes a guy has a business and he signs on with me, and he never takes time away from his business, which he hates, to actually start this business. So that's the only reason that people fail, is they don't put the time in to get the business established. And everything else, it's all laid out for you. It's all proven. It's going on in every city in the world. It's targeted advertising. I showed you a few things before, but there's 50,000 publishers in the United States alone, all publishing newspapers and magazines and all making money. And a lot of them paid a fortune to get into this industry, and you can get into it basically for free. If this opportunity is not for you, make sure you tell it to someone, a loved one, someone who needs a job, someone who wants a business, someone you care about, because this is one of the few legitimate business opportunities, at least that you could go into for less than $100,000. So anyhow, don't be a stranger. There's no franchise fees. There's no territorial limitations. If you want to learn the business and then, get your business going in San Antonio, and then you want to teach your cousin how to do it who's in, Wyoming, be my guest. You know what I mean? There's no restrictions on this business. A lot of my students have gotten very wealthy. Quite a few of them start off with 48-page books because they know a lot of the local businesses. So sometimes they have a sold-out paper before they even learn how to do an ad. Maybe you know someone who's got associations in the local business community. That person's going to be instantaneously successful, and they'll drag you along with them if you bring them into the business with you. Anyhow, if you call me up, I will look up your zip code, and I will tell you how many homes and businesses are in your area, and I'll tell you what I would do if I was you, if I was living there, if I would do your zip code or need to do 2 zip codes. And I do that for free. And I also want you to click on the category Start for Free, because I want, the more you know about this business, the better the odds are that you're going to succeed. And so far, I'm yet to have a woman fail. Women, they are the greatest. They all succeed, and they do it so quickly. In 7 days, they're out selling advertising. I've had a few men that are like slugs, but it's mainly because they're too busy, with their businesses or with their jobs. But basically, this is a proven program. And if you have been looking for a business, don't be a stranger. Call me up. You start for free. It's affordable. It's $1,995. It's all inclusive. It costs you money to get starting. No money to get started because you're going to collect the deposits. It's going to more than cover your mailing and your printing. But the most important thing is your customers are there and they're in place and they're waiting for you. And on top of all that, you will have no competition. Nobody can compete with you. You're doing everything yourself. This is a one-man, all-cash business selling to other businesses. There's no middlemen involved. You're going right to the newspaper printers. I'm going to tell you where to go. You're going right to the bulk mailings. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Everything you do, you're going to be doing the cheapest possible way. There's no royalties, so you're going to be able to kill everybody, and you're going to have a better vehicle with the advertorials and with the design that I'm going to teach you, and with the mailing. Oh, there's nobody that can compare. You're going to steal everyone's business just like I did, and you're going to be successful if you visit the businesses just like I did. If you have any questions, call me up. I have the answers. I've been doing this for years, and I hope we'll be working together. Don't be a stranger, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you and helping you to start your own in-home business without any overhead or expenses. So don't be a stranger. Call me up with any questions. The number's on the website. If you're watching this on YouTube, click anywhere on the screen and it'll take you to my website. Thanks for your time today. Bye-bye.